if you're going to say, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow or Monday, you're in a program.
Yep.
Right? Because you actually should be doing it in the moment, right?
Right.
So then I assert that if you're not in the present moment, you're running a program. And so the more, listen, paying attention is being present, and it's a skill. And you know when someone's present with you in your life because they're paying attention to you. And you know when they're not present with you because they're not paying attention to you. So then imagine you're going to create and you're not present. How could you miss the moment of creation? You then are in the known. You're in the familiar past or the predictable future. So that sweet spot of the generous present moment, if you keep practicing overcoming your body, overcoming the conditions in your environment, and overcoming that predictable future and the familiar past, and you keep working for the present moment, you are going to develop the habit of being present. And if where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and you're in the present moment, you got a lot of energy to use. You got a lot of energy to execute. You got a lot of energy to design a destiny with. I'll be the first person to say that we already know how to do this. Yeah. We are wired to be creators. We already know how to do it. You just made up your mind that it was more important than anything else. And you have that vision, you have that possibility, and the moment you feel that emotion, you're connected to your future, and no person, no thing, no experience will stand in the way between you and that future. And it's feeling connected to your future, feeling the inspiration, the joy, feeling the exuberance, the love for your future every day is going to, just like your body follows your mind to the coffee maker, to the toilet every morning, to the known, your body is going to follow your mind right into that future because that's where your attention and your energy is. So then, yeah, if it isn't happening in your life, then there's some emotion. There's some unconscious attitude or thought process, hardwired. There's some habituation of thought, behavior, or emotional reaction that's keeping you as you. So then if your personality creates your personal reality, and it does, and your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel, then the present personality who's listening to this show has created the present personal reality called her life. So if you want to create a new personal reality, a new life, it means you're going to have to change your personality. It means you're going to have to start thinking about what you've been thinking about in that 95% and change it. You have to become conscious of your unconscious habits and behaviors, how you speak, and modify them. And then you're going to have to look at those emotions that keep you connected to the past and decide, does this emotion belong in my future? And if it doesn't, leave it behind and the memory associated with it. So most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. We literally have to become someone else. And the act of becoming is a function of overcoming. So that means you got to light a match in a dark place. And when you sit down and all of a sudden you hear those voices, I can't, it's too hard, I'll never change, it's my ex's fault, it's my boss's fault, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too old, I'm too tired, it's too late. And those are the thoughts that are the boundary of the known. And now you're stepping out into new territory, and the body that's been conditioned to be the mind emotionally is saying, don't leave the known here. Stick with guilt. It's much better. Stick with suffering. At least you can predict it. And yet your conscious mind is wanting to go for a ride, and your body's going, whoa. So then it may take a little time to help the body out of the past. It takes some time, right? So then the person can have a great meditation and feel really connected, and then get up and then get frustrated on the freeway and judging everybody else. I mean, you just disconnected from the energy of your future, and you're back to the energy of your past. Don't expect anything to change. And if you tell me it's because of that person or that circumstance, I'm going to say, you're back to the unconscious program of being a victim in your life. And so there is a period, a grace period of transformation where we have to cross this river from the old self to the new self. And that void, that unknown, is the neurological, the biological, the chemical, the hormonal, the genetic death of the old self. And most people, the moment they step out, and the hardest part about change is making a new choice. The moment you make a new choice, get ready. You're leaving the known. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be unfamiliar. There's going to be some uncertainty. You can't predict. You're not in the known any longer. And most people, they step out and they hear that voice. It's too hard. You never change. And they believe in that thought. And that thought leads to the same choice, which leads to the same behavior, creates the same experience, produces the same emotion. And then they say, oh, this, Aubrey, feels right to me. No, that feels familiar. So then, if you're becoming conscious of how you speak, you're sitting in your meditation and you're becoming aware of how you act, that you complain and you blame and you make excuses, you feel sorry for yourself, you judge other people. Now you're conscious of what you were unconscious of. That's a victory too, because consciousness brings awareness, and there's an energy that goes along with that. And now all of a sudden, you're not in the program. You're the consciousness observing the program. You're outside the jar. You're objectifying your subjective self. You're seeing yourself through the eyes of someone else. And then when you look at those emotions and you say, my goodness, I didn't even know it was guilt. This is how I always feel. I didn't even know it was guilt. Now I know. All right, well, now that you know, you can't not know. So then what are you going to do? You're going to live with the knowing that you're a victim or you're guilty or you're suffering? No, the insight isn't going to do anything until you initiate some type of change. So then you say, I'm going to stop blaming, complaining, make excuses, feeling sorry for myself, judging other people. Now you're in the river. And there's a tug for the brain and body to go back to the familiar past. And every day, if you just work on practicing and changing it, you will go from one state of being to another state of being. And you will begin to think differently. What thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? That's a good question. What behaviors do I want to demonstrate in one day? The act of closing your eyes. As an athlete, you know this, and you begin to rehearse in your mind, mentally rehearse what you're about to do, begins to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it. Now the brain is no longer a record of the past. It's now a map to the future. And if you keep hitting that hardware over and over again, the hardware is going to become a software program. And who knows? You just may start acting like a happy person. There's no magic there. You're actually following suit of how you primed your brain. And it's no different than training in any sport or dancing the salsa or whatever you do. Can I teach my body emotionally what that future feels like before it happens? Now, that sounds really easy, but when it comes down to feeling gratitude before the experience, most people go, yeah, I gotta go. Didn't really feel it, But the person who says, I'm not getting up, I'm just not gonna get up until I open my heart to life. Now, to me, that's a willingness. So then as they trade guilt and suffering for joy and freedom and inspiration and a love for life, and they're doing it without relying on anything outside of them, they're going to be more prone to no longer need anything outside of them to make them feel that way. They're going to feel that way naturally, and then everybody's going to be really suspicious, like, he changed his medication. Ooh, he's doing something. He's not telling me. You're going to show up unpredictable in your life, and that's when we begin to become outstanding or supernatural or extraordinary. But you can't take any of that with you to become someone else. And if someone says to me, well, I really can't do it because I've had this experience 22 years ago or 30 years ago, I'm going to say to you, that event had such a strong emotion that you haven't changed since that experience. And forget about the experience. Just overcome the emotion, because the memory without the emotional charge is called wisdom. And that's why we're here. So then you can look back at the past and you can say, wow, I learned something really great. I'd never do that again. And by the way, when the experience finally lands in your lap and you prove to yourself how powerful you really are, that you created something by thought alone, and that event comes in a way that you
sống lấy lấp thời không em. Đầu quay cuồng trong hơi men, đôi chân về nơi quen, dấu vết chẳng hề phai. Và rồi trên tóc ta và vô tình khơi thêm ký ức lung lơi em mà đã từng kể vai và màu. Chẳng cần thiết phải viết lên sử sách mà lại phải nếm trải chuyến não này. Chẳng thể biết thời tiết đẹp như tranh, thực ra là đằng xa có một cơn bão về. Chẳng cần nơi hay chờ đến vạn kiếp để ta được cạn kiếp cho hết phần giao đôi. Rồi chẳng thể nỡ được vỡ một nhân duyên nên ta chỉ khấn nguyện chọn đời này chung lối thôi. Những kẻ si mê tới điên thường mê tưởng tới thiên đường in ơn một tô điểm nhưng hận tạo hóa tuyệt nhiên có ai đành đến em thành anh đài tình ta như hồ điệp vẫn mãi giữ riêng đây và giây phút khắc sâu. Chẳng yêu ai mà từng chút mắc câu sầu hôn hút khuất sau và đến lúc chắc đau hạnh phúc đâu cần chỉ cho phút bắt đầu. Nhớ đến cái lúc còn gió sương rơi đầy, nhớ hình bóng người nào đó vương nơi này trong vẻ tình khắc mong có được đôi tay để cùng lau đi đường đi khi nào thường hơi cay xa mệt mỏi và bước qua cuộc đời không thể xa đi vĩnh viễn mà chúng ta chỉ tạm chịu lấy đau kiếp này nhau cùng với nhau kiếp này sau để về nơi hoàng tuyển và con hoa đỉnh ạ. Giữa những con đường ồn ào, giam mình ở trong cái dòng vương cồn cào, im là cảm nhận nỗi đau thương dồn vào bốn bức tường thê lương khiến ta thường nôn nao. Nắm trong cùng vẻ ảo giác lạ, ngột ngạt tựa như bản thảo phác họa. Thầy non hận biển tưởng chừng nó sẽ, nhưng rồi có lẽ thượng đế lại bảo khác sai. Bóng ai đóng vai làn sương khói trong phai chỉ tương đối cùng quanh cơn mộng mị, kéo chút heo may đi theo ngày sang thu. Con cảnh bỗng mang vu còn lạnh hơn đông chí vậy. Nếu cho đây là tình kiếp thì sau này có truyền thuyết nào kể xiết để viết lại ngày tương tư. Âm thầm đối tượng này trăm năm cũng chưa yên, dòng câu chuyện chẳng hứa tiên luôn trở hoài bạch nhân sử. Và không giỏi thi họa không giỏi chơi cần kỳ, rót một ly sầu mặn đắng này xin mời nhâm nhi để thưởng thức không tâm can về đôi ba lời thân thúy. Ngắm bên bờ vòng xuyên ở giữa cả trời ân ti, sao phải cam chịu bị đọa đầy, sao phải trầm luân về u mê của nhân thế, sao phải gìn giữ một tơ hồng khi mà nay dẫu cách biệt có sinh tử vẫn trọn vẹn nghĩa phu thê. Tình là vết cháy trên da người, nóng bỏng là vậy nhưng không dạy cho ta cười. Tình như hoàng hôn đẹp dịu dàng và thưa thả nhưng sau đó là đêm đen khiến con tim ta mù loà. Yêu vì lý do phải cảm giác mập mờ, yêu rồi sẵn sàng đâm lập trời đập vỡ. Yêu bằng linh hồn chân thật nhất với em, ra đời rất rối ren thì ta mới gặp gỡ, đúng không?
Never expected, that surprises you and leaves no doubt that what you were doing inside of you produced an effect outside of you, and you are exuberant and you feel worthy of life and feel grateful to be alive, that you are in love with the moment. You will look back at your entire past in that moment, I swear, and you will not want to change one thing in your past because it got you to that present moment, and that's when it was all worth it. That's when it all makes sense. Now you're free from the past, and now you're not thinking about the past any longer. You're believing in your future more than you're believing in your past. You're more in love with your future than you are with your past.
We are continuing with the practice of completing the inspiring and well-known quotes at the end of every video. In the previous video we were looking for two words. The quote was Joe Dispenza's and it goes like this. Gratitude becomes the emotional signature that it's already happened. Gratitude is the ultimate state, and the right answer is of receiving. So, gratitude becomes the emotional signature that it's already happened. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. Congratulations to everyone with the correct answer, especially to the first one. I hope you like this way of ending the videos and engaging together. Dr. Joe Dispenza has many beautiful statements and quotes. You probably heard it many times before since you are a Joe Dispenza fan, so I'm sure you will know the one I have for you today. Today's quote or statement that you need to complete comes from Joe Dispenza and we are looking for two words. The quote goes like this. The hormones of stress cause us to believe that the outer world is more real than the... Write your answers in the comments below the video. Even if you are not sure what the correct answer is, try and guess. And while you're writing, tell me also what you think about this video. Did you like it? If you did, give your thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't miss my new videos and new quotes that needs to be answered correctly, so subscribe and hit that bell button and don't miss any of the new videos. If you really like what we do here and want to support us, you can join our channel and our community for a symbolic fee and gain many other additional features. You can do that by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can click on the link in the description of this video. Stay good and have a great day!
Cuộc đời thật vui khi ta có nhau trong đời. Một ngày cứ thế trôi qua và ta nhận lại bao nhiêu tiếng cười. Mình chỉ nhau đi quanh phố phường. Anh là người khiến con tim em mất thương. Chỉ cần ngày và nắng lên đèn Facebook được sáng tên là cuộc đời của ta cứ trôi như êm đềm. Chỉ cần ngày và nắng lên đèn Facebook được sáng tên là cuộc đời của ta sống trong mini game. Mình nhảy múa trong phòng toàn hơi men, cùng đắm say trong điệu nhạc cũ mềm. Mình cùng đưa nhau sang Paris để ngân trái tim ta thân thì làm những điều mà ta muốn khi nhạc trình thì ta xuống uống cạn ly khi trái đến nơi đây vẫn còn suy. Đừng mơ đến được vì như hồng màu bất chế độ yêu anh như tình yêu màu hồng. Anh như là con thuyền, em như là đắm chìm. Anh như là cơn nghiện, làm con tim em yêu đến phát điên. Mình chỉ nhau đi quanh phố phường. Anh là người khiến con tim em mất.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe, I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
Hoàng hôn 4 giây góc phố dài, mình em bâng thăm những nước mắt trên đôi vai này. Anh không bên cạnh, giờ khỏi vòng tay ấy là những vụn vỡ. Nơi phố vắng đã cũ một xa, ta chẳng còn đón đưa nhau khi bão giông tố ngày mưa. Và dòng ký ức đã cất sau lưng rồi, mà mình giờ đã khuất lát phát sau con đường. Chỉ còn lại mình em lang thang nơi góc tối, là vầng giờ đang mưa dòng người dần đưa thức qua một giờ. Tìm lại bình yên cũ nơi ta có nhau, và giờ chỉ còn thương nhớ nơi đây em mang em vẫn chưa thể quên đi những quá khứ ai ta hiện về. Và em vẫn thương anh dù cho nỗi nhớ kia có phai mờ, dù cho bao khoảng cách có đánh đổi bằng sự lặng im. Và em vẫn sẽ chờ cho đến khi anh quay về, em đâu có thể giữ lại được trong bàn tay anh, nhưng biết sao giờ đây, em nói sao giờ đây để anh không đi. Em không muốn phải dây vò bản thân mình bằng những nỗi đau. Vì điều tốt trên tay để quên anh là điều không nên đâu.